Zohran Mamdani, the elected mayor of New York City, is facing severe criticism after appointing a convicted armed robber to a city hall position. Things get worse when he criticizes President Donald Trump. It's only for Trump to immediately respond, making Mamdani regret his actions. This video reveals the full story, from the shocking appointment to the public outcry, and Trump's powerful reply that changed everything. The situation began on a cold, tense morning in New York. People were starting their day, checking their fonts when suddenly every news source had the same headline: Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani appoints convicted armed robber to City Hall. Within minutes, the city was in turmoil. Taxis came to a halt, mothers felt fear for their children, and elderly men shook their heads in disbelief. It wasn't just news, it felt like betrayal, like the safety of the city had been compromised. Then, just as people were processing the news, a video of Mamdani went viral. He was seen speaking bitterly about Trump, calling his victory in a dark day for democracy and labeling his supporters as fascists. His harsh words hit deep, especially for millions of Americans who had just re-elected Trump. By midday, the city was buzzing with anger and confusion. Protesters gathered outside City Hall, and the media frenzy intensified. Inside Mamdani's office, his staff was scrambling to deal with the backlash. They had expected praise but instead were overwhelmed by public fury. Meanwhile, President Trump was watching calmly from a distant room, fully aware of what was unfolding in New York. Trump, known for his cool and collected demeanor, prepared a response that would turn the situation on its head. He wasn't angry or surprised. He knew New York better than anyone and understood the reaction that was brewing. In the hours that followed, the city fell silent. It was the kind of silence that comes after something shocking and painful. People from all walks of life were talking about the appointment, expressing feelings of fear and betrayal. Some felt deeply hurt by Mamdani's decision, while others were enraged by his attack on Trump. As the day went on, more videos and reactions flooded social media, fueling the Fire Mamdani's office. In chaos, tried to fight back by blaming Trump for the backlash. But his words only made things worse. Trump was ready to respond, and when he did, it would shake New York and the nation to its core. By mid-afternoon, the city's anger had turned into something more powerful: fear. People from all backgrounds were talking about the appointment, wondering how the mayor could make such a dangerous decision. Mamdani, instead of calming the storm, made it worse by doubling down on his criticism of Trump. The country was waiting for Trump to speak. When he finally did, everyone knew that the situation was about to change. In Mamdani's office, staffers were filled with dread, knowing that the worst was yet to come, as Trump prepared his response. The city waited in anticipation, knowing that the outcome of this political drama would affect them all. It wasn't just about politics, it was about the safety and trust of the people of New York. Zohran Mamdani's team was in chaos. They were watching the news and hearing that Trump was preparing a response to Mamdani's actions. One of his aides nervously said, "Trump is about to speak." Mamdani tried to stay strong, but his nervousness showed. He muttered to himself, "He's just trying to scare people. He can't change this." Deep down, though, he knew he had made a mistake that could not be undone, attacking the president, insulting millions of Americans, and appointing a convicted criminal to City Hall. Trump, who knew New York like no one else, was about to speak. The countdown began, and millions across the country held their breath in anticipation. As the clock ticked down to zero, Trump appeared on the screen, standing behind a podium with the American flag behind him. His calm demeanor and steady voice had a powerful impact. Trump spoke about New York, a city he knew well. He said, "I built half of its skyline. I watched it rise and fall." He then turned his attention to Mamdani, calling him out for appointing a convicted armed robber to City Hall. "This is the man who wants to lead New York City," Trump said, describing Mamdani as someone who hated the people he was supposed to serve. Trump's words cut deep. He didn't yell or act angry. Instead, he spoke with controlled power and truth. He addressed the mayor-elect's harsh words about him, about America, and about the millions of voters who supported him. The people of America were listening closely, and they weren't just hearing a political speech, they were hearing someone speak up for them. The nation felt Trump's words in their hearts. People everywhere, from working-class families to veterans to young parents, felt the weight of what he was saying. It wasn't just about politics. It was about the safety and well-being of everyone in the country. As Trump continued, the tension grew. He said, "This isn't about me. This is about the safety of every mother, every father, every child in New York City." His message was clear. Mamdani's decisions were a betrayal of the people he was supposed to serve. In Mamdani's office, the mood turned from panic to shock. His team was overwhelmed by Trump's powerful response. The truth had been exposed, and there was no way to hide from it. Trump's calm and steady words had turned the tables and made Mamdani's actions seem like a mistake that could never be fixed. The tension in Mamdani's office was thick. His advisors were panicking, whispering about Trump's upcoming statement. "Trump is preparing to speak," one aide said, voice shaking. Mamdani tried to stay strong but knew deep down that he couldn't undo what he'd done. He had attacked the president, insulted millions of Americans, and appointed a convicted armed robber. It wasn't just a political mistake, it was a personal insult to the entire city. Trump, who knew New York better than anyone, was about to speak. The whole country held its breath. In living rooms, offices, and bars across the nation, everyone waited for him to address the situation. As the camera focused on Trump, he took a slow breath, his voice calm and steady. "I built half the skyline. I watched it rise and fall," Trump began. He spoke about New York, a place he knew intimately. Then he addressed Mamdani. "This is the man who wants to lead New York. A man who appointed a convicted armed robber." The nation was stunned. Trump's words hit home, especially when he said, "This is not leadership. Leadership is protecting your people. Leadership is putting America first." People across the country cried, not out of sadness, but because they finally felt heard. They felt like someone was standing up for them. Then came the bombshell. Trump held up a stack of documents. "This is what they don't want you to know," he said. The room went silent. Trump had internal memos from Mamdani's transition team showing how they planned to sneak the appointment through without public backlash. He revealed emails discussing how to spin the public outrage into sympathy for Mamdani, and notes calling New Yorkers uninformed and easily manipulated. People gasped. Trump wasn't yelling. He was calmly exposing the truth. He wasn't just calling out Mamdani. He was calling out the entire system that had tried to deceive the people. "They mocked you," Trump said. "They didn't care about you." As he spoke, the emotions were raw. People across the country felt a mix of anger and relief. Trump wasn't just exposing lies. He was standing up for the people who had been betrayed. Back in Mamdani's office, panic turned to desperation. They knew they had lost control, but nothing they did could stop the truth from spreading. Trump finished his speech with a powerful message. The people are stronger than the corrupt few. His words were not just political, they were personal. People felt seen, heard, and defended, and Trump's final line echoed across the nation. "You deserve leaders who don't betray you behind closed doors." The country was silent. But then, the silence broke into cheers, tears, and applause. Trump had exposed the truth, and in doing so, he had restored the voice of the people. Mamdani's political career was in ruins, and the city had woken up. Trump had flipped the entire situation, showing the power of truth and standing up for what's right.